Hello there, I am your host, Lobau, and welcome to Lobau's Spark, the ADHD fire. We'll describe what I use to keep the fire in my life going, to keep it burning hot, to make sure my fire doesn't go out. This is designed for people that have already lit a fire within them and are interested in how to keep the flames going. There are going to be 3 episodes to this, and they are going to go by quick. It's going to be 10, 12, 15 minutes at max per episode. Again, this is just what I use. I'm not saying it will work for you. No guarantees at all. This is just an idea that in my life has proven to be successful. So with that, I wanted to remind everyone that I am not a psychiatrist that specializes in ADHD, nor am I qualified to tell you why I feel ADHD is so powerful. I am simply going to tell you why I feel that it is, and I hope you can accept that. Be fast. Put your heart in it. Have the attitude to block everything else out. Be 100% reliable and use the knowledge you attained when you had to build your own bridge. And now analyze what they need and help them fast. And let's make no mistakes here, you should continue to use Spark anytime you want to light a fire. It's not like you just, my Spark worked, my fire is lit now, so I don't have to use Spark anymore. I don't have to be fast and passionate. No. You need to be continuing to use a Spark every day. You have to start your day with speed every day. And in people with ADHD, we want to light a lot of fires because, let's be honest, lighting a fire is exciting. Fires are fun. It's a blast to start a fire. So just because you sparked a fire one day does not mean you should not continue to wake up and attack with speed, passion, attitude, reliability, and knowledge. The second you open your eyes in the morning, use a Spark to get going. Now, Season 2 will focus primarily on how to keep your fire going once your Spark has ignited a fire within you. If you have found the spark that has ignited a fire, this season is for you. If you haven't, or you are just tuning into this podcast, it would be highly beneficial for you to listen to the first 5 episodes in order before moving on to Season 2 and the ADHD fire. You got to understand the power of ADHD before you understand the ADHD fire. Now, this will be a description of how I maintain a fire once a spark has ignited it. Now, keep in mind that it is much harder to start a fire than it is to maintain it. So if your spark has ignited a fire, you are on the right track. This is kind of an opposite way that ADHD people do things. It is much harder for ADHD people to start their fire than to maintain it. Whereas for others, starting a fire is easy, keeping it going is what's difficult. For us, starting is difficult. But once it is started, we will be on the path to success in life, and our fire will burn hotter and longer than most others. ADHD people can't help building the best fires because we can't sit still for very long. So we will always be searching for more logs and removing anything that could cause it to go out and having fun enjoying it all along the way. Now, a fire is defined as a rapid, persistent chemical change that releases heat and is accompanied by flame. Now, there are fires, and then there are ADHD fires. ADHD fires are driven, forceful, and nonstop. A fire's flames spread quickly as they are unpredictable. Most people love a fire for the warmth that they can provide. So after this season, we are going to invite some people on the show for Season 3, and those are going to be nothing but fireside chats, and I think you'll really enjoy those. But for the time being, we got to keep our fire going before we invite people over. But how do you do that? How do you maintain a fire once you have started it? We touched on this briefly in Season 1, but one of the biggest issues sometimes in people with ADHD is that they start on something with amazing intensity and they are naturally driven to get their fire going. They light spark after spark after spark until that fire is lit. But once it is lit, The adrenaline of starting the fire can outweigh the fire itself. Because maintaining a fire is easier than starting it. We want the difficult stuff. So how do you keep it going? So let's think about it. Once you have a hot fire going, once you've ignited that fire, what do you do to keep it hot? To keep it warm? To keep it exciting? You simply need to add more logs. And one of the most important things, I think, of maintaining a fire, maintaining your fire, is to ensure that you are in control of it. You control when to put more logs on and how hot or how big you want it to get. You are in control of your own fire. And in my experience, I use 3 steps to keep a particular fire going. The first step is to have a large supply of wood close to you that you can throw in at any time in order to keep it going. The second step is to ensure your fire isn't surrounded by anything that could try and put it out. The third step, and probably the most important, honestly, is to make sure that you are enjoying and having fun with your fire. And that your fire is enjoyed by other people also. So today, we will be discussing step 1. Have a large supply of wood close to you that you can throw in at any time in order to keep the fire going. In order to keep your fire going, you need to surround yourself with your closest friends and family that you can call on at any time for help and or advice on anything currently going on in your life. And we know that people are naturally drawn to those with ADHD. So now it's on us to ensure that those we are closest to remain close to us. It is so important to put in the effort with people and those you love, because the type of people we are surrounded by will dictate how long our fire will last. It's kind of that saying, you are the company you keep, or something like that. I don't necessarily truly believe that, but there are things that you can draw from that. The people that you're surrounded by are going to be hugely important in your life. They've got your back. They're the fire logs that are going to keep your fire going. And the more you have, the better off you're going to be. So let me be clear about this. ADHD people have the power to build a support group that loves and cares for each other over a long period of time. Most relationships with ADHD people last a lifetime because we are constantly reaching out to see how they are doing and what is going on in their lives, and if we can help them in any way. Let me ask you this. Have you called your best friends today? If you haven't, do it. Do it today. Come on, keep your fire going. Call them today. See what they're up to. So here's a squirrel moment and story time. People seem to really like these from the previous season, so I decided to keep them going. So I have an amazing group of close friends that have stayed close for over 20 years and counting now. And this group of 11 people are essentially the firewood I keep close to me in order to maintain my fire. And each of us would say the same thing about each other. Maybe they wouldn't relate it to firewood, but you get the point. We support each other and have always had each other's back in every aspect of our lives. However, a few years ago, I sensed that our communication and the support system we had built together was starting to not be as strong as it was in the past. So I formed an email to this group and created a motivational video with old pictures and all that stuff from the past. The goal was simple. We would take a trip all together, just us, once a year for a decade. This year we are on year 4, and we are accomplishing our goal and staying the course. Now with this trip, a different person is in charge of planning the trip each year. So everyone is involved, and we rotate who will be in charge each year. This has been incredibly successful in ensuring that despite how busy life can be, and the diverse roads that each of us have taken, that we will always be there to help each other keep whatever fire we have in life burning strong. Have a large amount of solid firewood near you to keep your fire going. Seasoned firewood, firewood that's been there for a while, that knows life. Have a large amount of really solid firewood near you that you could call on at any time to keep your fire strong, that would gladly be thrown into the fire to help you because they can take the heat. Build extremely close relationships with people and make all of them a priority in your life. Do this and your firewood supply will continue to grow. Do this and there will never be a limit to how strong your fire can be. Do this and your fire will burn for a long, long time. And if you have an unlimited supply of firewood close to you, your fire might just burn, well, forever.